Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? We got, I think, a few people in the chat already. Let us know where you're joining from. We're, if you haven't seen, we're kind of all over the place right now. I'm in Calgary. Andrew's in Squamish. We have some team members in New York demoing the bikes today. So it's been a pretty exciting week for us. And we're pumped to be hanging out with you guys tonight.
Yeah, good to see everyone.
Oh, Shreddy's here again. We love it when Shreddy comes. Hi.
Thanks for joining, Shreddy. Shreddy's been with our team for a good portion of the week this week. Helped us fix a flat tire. He had stuff out on his driveway to fix a flat tire on the Voodoo. Yeah, which is great. Yeah,
and they're Shreddy has filmed his review now, so we're eagerly awaiting to hear what he thinks. And probably you guys will get to see that, I imagine, in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. We'll be sure to share it once Shreddy posts it.
Yeah, and all the folks that had a chance to kind of go out and ride the bikes in New York today at Last Mile, it's been a cool event going on there today. Yeah, it's nice to have everything out in the wild and people testing them and coming back with big smiles on their face. It's just been so validating to see things be so well accepted.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We got Philip from DC, Maryland, Virginia.
We should have just put Shreddy live because everyone's just going to ask him the questions now. So,
well, actually, I think we're going to go live with Shreddy. Maybe we need to talk about that. Maybe next week or when the review comes out. So yeah, we'll all be hanging together soon. Okay, well, yeah, why don't we jump in? So just a few things here to kick things off. So a couple updates on what's happening this week. So the reason we're doing this now is because we have the pre-sale event for both the 305 Ghost and the Voodoo this week. We figured it's Halloween, Voodoo, Ghost. It just felt like the right timing. So we are doing a very big pre-sale. So you need to have a reservation to qualify for this. But what we're doing is Thursday is going to be Ghost Day. And so we have 20 units of the Ghost that we are selling for 25% off. So that is a huge discount. So you guys are going to want to get in on that. And then Friday is going to be Voodoo Day. And again, 20 units, 25% off. Now, the only way that you can get this 25% off is if you have a reservation. So I put the links at the top of the chat there. So if you don't have yours reserved yet, you're going to want to do that. We're already way over the 40 reservations. So it's going to be a race, and it's first come, first serve. They're going to go on sale at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. So 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. So that's when they will be available. Again, Thursday, actually, I have a little banner here just so everyone can see this. So Thursday at 305 Ghost, Friday Voodoo, 20 units each day. And again, you need a reservation for that. So make sure that you're getting that reservation now because we'll only be sending the link to those people. So yeah, we're super excited about that and excited that you guys will be able to kind of be the first buyers of this. One thing that's quite neat with the Ghost is they are numbered. So these are going to be some of the first SKUs in the batch that you will be getting. And then what else do I have to tell you here? So today we're going to be talking about all the frequently asked questions. So we'll kind of kick it off talking through the features and what we typically get asked. And then you guys can ask away and we'll stay on here and make sure that you all get your questions answered. Tomorrow, we're actually going to be going live on Instagram with Tyson Beckford. So you're going to want to tune in for that as well. So we're going to be chatting with him to talk about how this partnership came to be and kind of what he likes best about the Ghost and how he kind of helped us design that. So you'll get to hear from him on all of that and also ask him any questions that you have. So a lot of exciting things happening this week. Okay, I think, should we just jump into it then?
Let's do it.
Okay, sweet. Okay, well, why don't we start with an overview of the Voodoo features? Do you want to kick things off, Andrew, or do you want me to?
Sure, you can go ahead. I'll jump in.
I'll go ahead with the features. There's probably going to be lots of questions that are coming your way. So,
yeah, sure.
Okay, so key features of the Voodoo. 65 miles an hour. It's super fast. It's super powerful. Got a 3,000 watt motor, 18K peak watts. So again, very incredibly powerful. The battery is 72 volts, 50 amp hour. We do have the monoshuck motorcycle suspension on this, so it rides very smooth, very stable. You have the option of both pedals and pegs with these bikes, which, you know, some places you're going to need the pedals to kind of qualify as the moped. We can talk a little bit more about that later. They come with the ASI Bach 4000. So that, again, is one of those controllers that everyone typically upgrades to. You won't have to upgrade it because it just comes standard with the Voodoo and the Ghost. Variable regen brakes on our bikes. So this is something pretty unique to us. Most e-bikes are going to have regen brakes now, but ours are 100% variable, meaning that you can fully stop with the regen brake. What that does for you is it's going to give you more power back in your motor overall, or sorry, in your battery overall. And then it's also really low maintenance because you're not actually using the brake pads. So it's going to save you quite a bit on brake pad costs. And when you're going as fast as you go on the Voodoo or the Ghost, you'll be using your brakes pretty, like, a lot. So this is going to actually save you a lot. It seats 2 passengers. It has the passenger pegs on the back as well. And then DOT approved lighting, turn signals, mirrors, all of that good stuff. So that's kind of the overview. And then when we look at kind of the difference between the Voodoo and the Ghost, some of the upgraded features on the Ghost, we've got some scrambler design elements, as opposed to the Cafe Racer style. And then we've got a Fast Ace suspension upgrade, Adeline brakes, dual sport tires, and Excel rims. And just design-wise, there's a bit of a beefier fork, as Andrew likes to say, and it's gold, super sleek. And then the carbon tank and the red accents. So super sexy.
That's the important bit, is it's gold. I mean, that's the thing you buy it for, is because of the color, right? It's gold. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the overview. So then I think why don't we jump into, actually, I think I skipped the weight of it, which is also kind of a key feature. So it's around 160, 165 pounds. And this is obviously heavier than an e-bike, but it's a lot lighter than a motorbike. And so if you're living in a condo or whatever, it's pretty manageable to get in and out of condos. So definitely made for city living. And I think the other thing I skipped was the range. So about 55 to 65 mile range on this one, if you're staying in like the 25 to 30 mile speed range. And that's our estimates are for like 175, 180 pound person. So I think that covers kind of the key features.
Yeah, there was a question asking, someone reserved the Voodoo a while back, Zachary here, who sort of said, wasn't sure if he's still eligible for the discount. Yeah, I mean, you're
absolutely
still eligible for sure. We haven't started that's where we're, sort of chatting about today, is that pre-sale is going out this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a race to it, right? Because we've got all of our folks that have been putting in these reservations, and Tyson, who's helped co-design the Ghost with us, like he's got a crew, right? He's got a crew, and they're primed. But we did it in a fair way, and everyone's gonna like race towards like getting that first discount on this, right? So yeah, it's just get it while it's hot. Get it while it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then why don't we go into, let's talk about licensing and registration. Why don't you speak to that, Andrew?
Yeah, so out of the gate, these we'll have an off-road VIN on these. So there's a lot of stuff kind of going on in the e-bike space where there's a whole bunch of gray area, and actually Area 13 just recently put out a good video on e-bikes getting pulled over by cops, and both the e-bikers not knowing the law and the cops not knowing the law, and it is because it is somewhat confusing in different places, state to state.
Mm-hmm.
These will have an off-road VIN. One of the challenges in actually taking an e-bike and taking it to your local motor vehicle registration department is that a lot of them, they ask for a VIN right away. Many of them don't. People are bringing in like the serial code on the frame to try to add that. There's videos out about people doing that with some of the old Onyxes, where they're adding zeros to the end of them to try to make a VIN out of it. It's kind of messy, right? So we will have an off-road VIN on these. We will have the tail lights and everything in the box, so that if you want to take that and homologate it as a moped, it's different state to state. So know your local laws. As Andy said, like in 12 of the states in the US, you need the pedals in order to have it qualify as a moped. So in those states, you would want to have it with the pedals. In the ones where it doesn't matter, you can easily put the pegs on there and then go in and register as a moped. And it really is going to depend on where you're at. So, but we wanted it to be that, out of the box, it can be registered as an off-road vehicle, and you can use it anywhere as an off-road vehicle. And then if you want to homologate it as a street vehicle, you can use that VIN to do so. As a moped in most states, you need a driver's license to ride it. And in quite a few of the states, you don't need a motorcycle license to ride it. But some of them, like Alaska as an example, you do require a motorcycle license to drive a moped. So you would have to kind of, again, look at your state laws, see if you require a driver's license for a moped where you're registering it, and then ensure that you've got that. I would say too that don't let that be scary, because like if anything that you're going to get a motorcycle license and do a motorcycle license test with, this is probably one of the easiest things that you do, is just like throttle and go, right? So yeah, I would say in those states where you require that, don't let that be a limiting factor. Awesome. Yeah.
Okay. So max weight, because these are so powerful, you can, it can handle about 400 pounds. Is that right, Andrew?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So definitely, like, we had 2 people on these. Well, we have it all the time when we've been riding them. When we were down in Miami, we were ripping around, and like no problem at all. Didn't impact performance whatsoever. And so, yeah, definitely can handle a fair bit of weight.
Yeah, both the front and rear suspension is adjustable to the weight of the rider, so you can stiffen up both the rear spring and the front forks. They've both got a number of different fine adjustments on them to dial them up. So you can sort of adjust to your weight. And yeah, we've got you know, because of where we're manufacturing these frames, we're very, very certain in how solid they are. It's one thing that gets kind of overlooked in a lot of e-bikes, and especially these high-powered ones. Like the frame is one of the defining factors in how your bike is going to ride and how well made it is and how structurally rigid it is to be able to handle those speeds is super important. And it's something that gets overlooked for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but it really should. It's something we've put a lot of thought and engineering into, and we hope it shows that when you ride the bikes.
Yeah. Okay, we got this one a lot. What size does the bike come in, and what's the seat height? So both of Voodoo and Ghost, they are bigger. The tall people will be really happy. The short people might not be so happy. For me, I'm 5'6", and I'm on my tippy toes when I sit on it. So, Andrew, do you know the seat height off the top of your head?
Yeah, so the seat height is at 33.5 inches uncompressed, right? And so when you sit on it, it does compress down probably about 1.5 inches. So that's version 1 that's out now. We are putting in 2 different attachment points on the rear suspension, so it will be able to be lowered down slightly on both. The Ghost is slightly higher than the Voodoo. The Ghost sits 1 inch higher than the Voodoo, so it's at about 34.5 inches where it sits, because it needed to basically clear or sit up higher for the front suspension upgrade.
Right.
So it's good for it's good for ground clearance because it's made as well for off road, so it sits more how a full size dirt bike would sit. Not quite as high, because some of those bikes have a 37, 38 inch seat height on those, but so it's not quite that high, but it does. The Ghost does sit at about 34.5 uncompressed. When you sit on it, it compresses more because of its off-road suspension. So it would probably compress a couple inches when you sit on it.
Right. So if we're talking like ideal height for someone, we're probably looking like 5'7", 5'8", up to like 6'6".
Yeah, so it sort of depends on your comfort with motorcycles. If you're really comfortable, I would say it can handle a little bit shorter than that, because like folks that are super comfortable with motorcycles are more comfortable coming to a stop and leaning the bike over.
A lot of people in Miami were not.
No, we had a lot of people in Miami that were riding. That were going from electric bicycle to electric bicycle, and then getting on the 305 Ghost, assuming that it was going to be like riding a Himaway cruiser, and taking off like a rocket out of the starting gate.
It was dominoes. One guy came in hot, fell over. Like, I had another bike here. I caught the one bike and let it down slowly, but it knocked the next one over. It was real fun, guys.
Yeah, he was still lying on the ground with the throttle completely depressed, just like.
Oh yeah.
So I think I would mirror that. I would say that it's like it's good for kind of 5'6", 5'7", up to 6'4", 6'5".
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Battery. So how long does the battery take to charge, and is the battery removable?
Yeah, so the battery is somewhere around 6 hours to fully charge, and it is removable. So it's got the production version anyway has a handle like right on the top of it, slides right out, and you can take it inside to charge. So if you are needing to kind of leave it downstairs in a parking garage and then bring the battery upstairs, you can do that. It is a 45-pound battery on it. It's they're heavier batteries, right? Like it's not the same as the battery on the Graffiti, where those are kind of 9 pounds each, right? They're more of a significant battery in these. but yeah, it's removable.
Cool. Okay. And if you guys have questions, definitely keep popping them in the chat. We're going to start taking these ones. So we've got one from Oregon e-biker Mark. When are they going to be shipping? So we are targeting spring 2023. So still a little bit of a ways out, but we are coming up to winter here, so it should be all right.
Oregon e-biker Mark just bought a graffiti off of us too. So are you come on, man, you're looking to buy a Voodoo as well? It's awesome.
Love it.
Dopes.
You might be our first repeat customer.
No, we've got a few that have reservations that have.
Well, I guess it's a race to see who gets it first. Because does a reservation count?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Okay, we've got.
Ooh, we had a bunch just come in all at once.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no! So there's questions for Shreddy. Oh, so there's a.
There you go, Shreddy. One for you. Philip wants to know if you can compare the Ghost suspension to your Sur-Ron. And I think, okay, let's see. What did he say?
Says it's more bouncy compared to the softer feel of the Voodoo. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Shreddy.
So we got a lot of rebound adjustment in the suspension that we use on the Voodoo. So it will have a softer feel to it and more of a I really care a lot about suspension and I know that there's a lot of comments on the graffiti not having rear suspension, and it was purposeful, and it will be seen as the accessories continue to roll out as to why that doesn't have rear suspension. But we do care a lot about how suspension runs, and suspension with bad rebound just drives me nuts. So we made sure that we've really dialed that in on the Voodoo, which just has it absorb bumps quite a lot. Yeah. But that was Shreddy's answer, not mine. I'm speaking. I'm speaking for him now, and he's saying more like a motorcycle, which is cool because that's. I mean, it really is when you get a bike going 65 miles an hour, it needs to feel like a motorcycle. It needs to have motorcycle brakes, which is what we've got on this. It needs to have motorcycle suspension, which is what we've got on this. It's the category that you get into. You're welcome, Shreddy. Yeah. You're welcome. I feel like our minds are on a wire now.
Okay. Will the bikes be shipped via Haul Bikes? No.
So that's not the plan right now, but the plan is a similar shipping service to Haul Bikes, where they are delivered as a complete unit, rolled off a truck and rolled into your hands. That's the current shipping plan, and we're just finalizing the deal with that shipping company now. So they will remain unnamed right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. What else do we have? I know a lot of people will ask this, so let me just see if I still have these slides from the other day. I think I do. I'm going to skip through if you caught us the other day. Oh, dang it. It's not in here. Okay, sorry. Well, if you guys haven't seen, we're on a bit of a roadshow right now. So we do have the bikes on the move, and we're setting up customer demos all the way across the country, more southern. So sorry for those of you in Canada and those of you in, the north. But we are right now we're in New York, and then we're making our way to Philly, DC, down through North Carolina, over to Atlanta, Nashville, then to Electrify Expo. So we're going to be there in Austin. That'll take us to November 11th in Austin. And then from there, we'll be hanging out in California for quite a while, about 2 weeks. So we'll be heading up San Diego, LA, and all of the surrounding areas there, and then up towards San Francisco, San Jose, Sacramento area. And then we'll be making our way up to Portland, Eugene, and Seattle. And then we'll be coming back into Vancouver, which is home for us. So yeah, if you do want to test ride the bikes, there is in our Instagram, there's a little link to register. So definitely sign up to that, because we're sending out emails as we confirm, where and when. So just stay tuned to that. Make sure you're on the the Lyric VIP list, and we'll be communicating that way. So what else do we got here? Oh, Primo, I've been talking to him. Yeah, we're setting up DC for this Saturday. So Primo's got a e-bike group, and we're partnering with them to do some of the demos on Saturday. So if you're in DC, definitely come check us out. Okay, what time does the sale start Friday to get 25% off in Ontario? So Eastern time, it's going to be 10. So Thursday again is the Ghost. So depending on if you want the Ghost or the Voodoo, the Ghost will be Thursday and the Voodoo will be Friday. And 10 Eastern time, 7 Pacific time.
AM or PM?
AM. Yeah. So for those of you in Pacific, you'll have to be up nice and early.
Really? Early bird gets the worm in Pacific here, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, we didn't want to make it too late for the Eastern time folks either. So that's the time we did the graffiti one, and it seemed to work well.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. What other questions? Keep them coming.
So don't hug me. I'm a skeptic who's looking for the approximate shipping time if they're to order a graffiti at the beginning of November. So that's in and around kind of mid-December right now based on orders. So would be when that one goes out. So it's not too far from now.
Yeah. A nice Christmas present for yourself.
Yeah, and they'd be, so it's to Arizona. So we're shipping out of Utah. So so it's not far from Arizona where they're shipping from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for all the love, by the way. I mean, it's awesome to see like everyone both connecting on the chat line here and connecting with us in the places that we're going. It's cool as a brand out of Western Canada to be showing up in different places of the world through North America and to feel the love from everyone. It's quite cool, right? Like, having someone fly from New York down to Miami to see us because they were so excited to see the bikes.
Yeah, where is Sky? Normally he's on here.
Sky probably didn't have the schedule of when we were going to New York basically after that, but so I'm not sure if he went to Last Mile today too, but it is kind of cool, like, and it's cool to see how much folks like Primo and Shreddy all connect with each other. It's a nice community, right? So thanks for the welcoming love and bringing us into the family, right? So it's awesome, right? Yeah, we feel the electricity. Yeah. Didn't. It wasn't me. I'm just using this line.
One of the other things, no one asked this in the chat, but I'm sure we will get asked this eventually. Do we have payment plans? We do. So we use Klarna in the US and we use RBC payments in Canada. So if you're in Canada, there's a little bit of a odd process we have to follow. So you can reach out to us and let us know, because we can make that happen for you. But it's a little bit trickier online. But Klarna, you just follow the checkout. And it'll basically link you out to Klarna, and you put in a bit of information, you get a response back immediately on like the payment terms they'll give you. So as far as interest rates and, you know, the term of the agreement, it's different for everyone. It's based on your personal credit. So we don't have anything to do with that. So you just kind of have to fill out the form and see what you get. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Do we have, oh wait, there was one here about so the link for test rides. It is the same, the same one. So yeah, really what we're trying to do, like you don't necessarily have to do it to reserve your test ride spot. If you show up and you don't have one, we're still going to let you try it. But it's more to get an idea, because if we end up, we want to kind of, you know, spread the people out a little bit so no one's waiting in line for a long time. You know, at Electrify Expo, we were lined up all day and people were having to wait. So we're just trying to make it a little more convenient for everyone. So if you fill that out, we'll be sending out then individual links for specific cities once we have all the details, and you'll be able to book a 15-minute time frame.
Primo, they're all badass bikes. They're all badass bikes, man. You'd be surprised. You're going to be surprised when you ride these things. It's especially, you know,
yeah.
the graffiti is shockingly powerful and fast when you get on and ride it. It starts to pick up more and more and more and more. It's like oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, next to like the Ghost and the Voodoo, the graffiti looks like, I mean, it's more of an e-bike, right? But yeah, when you get on it, it's like it's still very quick.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else have any other questions? I haven't seen any more come through. I think we covered the bulk of what we wanted to here. Just for anyone who joined late, just remind you guys, the links are in the chat, right at the top of the chat, and on YouTube, I'll go back and repost them because I believe they get rid of all the comments for some reason. But yeah, so tomorrow we have a live on Instagram with Tyson Beckford, so definitely join us there, and you can hear from him on everything like that he kind of put into the Ghost and why he wanted to do this. Then we have Thursday, the Ghost presale, 20 units at 25% off. And on Friday, we have the Voodoo presale, again, 25% off on 20 units. You do need a reservation, though, to be able to be eligible for those deals. So if you don't have a reservation yet, jump on our site and get one.
There's a question here if shipping is included. Yes, shipping is included to the lower 48 and most of the Canadian provinces.
Mm-hmm. If you're in Hawaii or Alaska, just message us. We'll do like live shipping rates for you. So when the bike's ready to ship, it's typically around $400 to $500 to go to Alaska or Hawaii, though. Will you just be doing one stop in DC, or will you have a demo in Virginia or Maryland too? We're still kind of working on Virginia. So I've actually been chatting with Primo and he sent me a shop. Actually, that's a good thing to call out. If you guys, because you guys are so in the know, would love to, like, if you have recommended like groups that we should meet with in all those cities I mentioned before, or, you know, your favorite bike shop, let us know, because that's going to help us out. Like, you know, we're not familiar with all the shops in all the cities, but part of the roadshow is really to meet with those shop owners who really align with our brand, and, you know, where we can show them the bikes. And then what we did today with Last Mile was they got to check out the bikes, and then we had that as like our demo spot for customers as well. So kind of like two birds with one stone. So if you guys have any suggestions, hit us up on Instagram or send us an email and let us know, because that will really help us out. And we trust you guys. You know, you're here on the live right now. You're our people. So help us out, and we'll definitely take those suggestions. Okay, a few more questions coming in now too. Are the bikes started with the key?
So the graffiti is not started with a key. It's just a power switch on the display, similar to a lot of e-bikes. The current prototype version of the Voodoo is not started with a key, but we are looking at including both a key and an alarm on the production version of the bike, so that you can lock it up just similar to a motorcycle.
Okay. Are the specs basically the same on both bikes?
So I'm assuming Oregon e-biker market, this is for the Voodoo and the Ghost. The specs are not quite the same. The differences between the Ghost and the Voodoo is that the Ghost, well, and there's another question further up too. Do they have the same appearance or do they look different? So I'll kind of address both at the same time.
I'm gonna add some slides in here for you too to show, but keep talking.
This is going to be just like a news show where I talk and then like the stuff comes up and it's like right. Perfectly timed. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So they've been designed slightly different. I'd say the main difference in them is the suspension difference. So and purpose built, right? So we're looking here at the 305 Ghost. So starting kind of from the top, red anodized Adeline brakes on the Ghost. That's not on the regular Voodoo. The regular Voodoo has sort of black calipers and brakes on there. So we've got a dirt bike style pro taper handlebar on the Ghost. It's a regular 5-inch rise bar on the Voodoo. We've got an off-road fork, fast ace fork on the Ghost, and it's an EBR racing fork on the Voodoo, which is more street style. Because this fork on the Ghost here is 29 inches long, and the Voodoo is 27 inches long, so it sits the nose lower to the ground. There's a street style fender on the Voodoo versus the off-road style fender here that's on the Ghost. And then we've got a dual projector, like Street Fighter style headlight on the Ghost, where it's a round 6-inch light on the Voodoo. The Ghost has a carbon tank on it versus a painted tank that's on the Voodoo. The Ghost has a flat black with red stitching seat on it versus the diamond stitch, sort of the Lyric diamond stitch that's on the regular Voodoo.
Did you mention tires? Oh, you were just about to. Sorry.
Yeah, dual sport tires on the Ghost here versus the street style tires on the Voodoo. So they have, because of all the different parts, they end up having a somewhat different look to them, because the Voodoo has sort of this street cafe racer look to it. And the Ghost ends up having more of a kind of a dirt bike, which is, the Scrambler style is a mix between a dirt bike and a street bike. So this is more Scrambler style. There's similarities between them. I mean, the turn signals are the same. The pedals and the crank and all that are the same. The controller is the same. The battery between them is the same. So the performance between the two is very, very similar. So you're a bit like, you're kind of buying the look that you want in the bike. and you're buying the suspension performance that you want. So if you really do want more of an off-road style suspension and this kind of basically the look of the Ghost, that's what's attracting people towards it. And if you want something that's a bit more of a like sleek cafe racer type look, that's made more like a street motorcycle, that's the folks that are kind of lining up for the Voodoo.
Yeah.
So, not a short answer, but but it is I mean, the stopping power is similar. The acceleration power is similar. It is noticeable the fact that the nose is a bit lower on the Voodoo, so it does sit a little bit lower. Yeah. Exactly, Oregon Biker Mark. It's a vintage street looking bike. That's exactly what we were looking for. We're looking for like that vintage design meets modern technology with this. So
yeah.
And Shreddy's just dying to see how people customize these, because because I think for some people we just need to basically sell the frame and the and maybe the seat, and everything else is like they take it off immediately and just start like building their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we got all the questions then. So we can probably wrap it up here. So yeah, if you haven't, again, got your reservations yet, you can do that up until Wednesday night. And then bright and early Thursday morning, be ready to go. And we'll be sending out the link to those with reservations to be able to get that 25% off. So yeah, so thanks for joining us, guys. If you do have any other questions, you can keep them coming in the comments and we'll just answer them offline. All right. Awesome. Okay, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.